What's up, guys? Today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 10 must-get weapons from the energy slot. So we already did the kinetic slot last week, and yeah, we're going to be taking a look at the energy slot today. Now, before I start, I believe these 10 weapons you can still get. I'm not 100% positive. It's kind of sad that a veteran player like myself doesn't know for a fact that all of these are still obtainable. I hate that. I hate that things can leave without like the game telling you. Like world drop weapons change, stuff like that. Like there's obviously very specific weapons that you know where they come from and you know if they're gone or not. Then there's other ones that are just giant question marks, so it's very sad. But anyways, hopefully all 10 of these weapons are still obtainable. I think they all are. There's pretty much just 2 of them that are questionable, and then I'll get to that when we get to them. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump straight into this. So starting off with the best weapon in the game currently, in my opinion, Forbearance. If you do not know about Forbearance, now you will. This is a waveframe grenade launcher that comes from the newest actual raid, not like a brought back raid, Vow. Yeah, I can't remember. I want to say this drops from the 3rd encounter, but I'm not 100% positive. But you can craft it. You know, you can just get your 5 red boxes and craft it. But yeah, this is in my opinion the best overall weapon in the game right now. This is an ad clearing machine. As you can see, I have about 60,000 kills on this thing, and I don't really play a lot of Destiny right now, so most of these came from the first like half of the year. But yeah, this weapon is absolutely amazing. One of the best combinations, I'm not gonna say it's the best because it's just personal preference, but Ambitious Assassin and Chain Reaction. Ambitious Assassin, in my opinion, is the best perk on this weapon. It is what makes this weapon so good. So waveframes, you know, just have such a huge radius, like they have such a big kill box, which is just awesome. That's what makes waveframes good for ad clear, for killing like red bar enemies. And then Ambitious Assassin just allows you to have multiple shots in a waveframe, which is super, super good. And then Chain Reaction it's hit or miss. I think people overestimate like how good Chain Reaction truly is. Because if you're just hitting a bunch of red bar enemies, the initial wave is going to kill all of them. And Chain Reaction also has a delay, which I'm not a huge fan of. If they removed the delay, then it would get a lot better. But anyway, so when your enemies are killed by, you know, the waveframe, they explode. But again, there's like a 2 or 2 second delay on the explosion. So sometimes the explosion just explodes and there's nothing even around. But most of the time when Chain Reaction is very good is when you have a bunch of red bars surrounded by like a champion or just a major in general, or even a boss, because all those explosions are going to do big damage to that boss. So yeah, anyways, so this is what I recommend getting. Also, One for All is probably extremely underrated on this weapon, and honestly might be better than Chain Reaction, and I've been saying that since day one. I've seen a few people using One for All, so yeah, anyways, so it's just preference, and I've been using Chain Reaction since day one, so just personal preference. But yeah, get this weapon, it is amazing. Moving on to the second weapon, another raid weapon, Zulies Bane. This is a D1 weapon that was actually converted from a 110, which are now 120s, and they made it a 140, which is really smart because it was horrible as a 110. That was jokingly probably the worst weapon in Destiny 1, like the worst hand cannon in Destiny 1. But yeah, this weapon is very, very good. Again, another raid weapon, another craftable weapon. It comes from King's Fall. There's tons of really good perk combinations. I just have a fun one. I don't actually use it that much, but I just have a random fun one that's Pugilist and Demo, which are basically the same perk. Like one when you get kills gives you melee energy, one when you get kills gives you grenade energy. So they're just like, this is just like an ability weapon that's really fun. Like when you use it, you just constantly are getting your abilities. But I'm not saying this is the best roll. This is just one I crafted for fun. As you can see, I don't actually use it that much. I haven't been using hand cannons much lately, and it's an energy, so I don't really take off my Forbearance. But yeah, it also has Firefly, Dragonfly, or both. I can't remember. Anyways, it has a ton of really good perks. I highly recommend it. It's definitely the best energy hand cannon in the game at the moment for PvE. So yeah, definitely recommend it. Moving on to Wilderflight. Very weird named weapon, but a very, very good weapon. And it's more of a niche weapon. Like, this is not something that you're going to be using in like everyday content, but in the true end game of Destiny, which there's not a lot of them, but for example, like what I consider true end game would be like day 1 raids, which we have one coming up, you know, in a month. And something like this is really good in a day 1 raid, because in a day 1 raid, when you have contest on, you're getting destroyed. Everybody's getting destroyed. Everybody's equally getting destroyed. Everything hurts. And blinding grenade launchers are very strong for survivability. So this will be something that's very good in a day one, or GMs, or dungeons when they're new, master content, all that stuff. Like, having blinding nades is very, very good. For those of you that watch like my solo dungeon videos, you can see that I'm using this constantly, because again, it's just easy to stay alive. And then again, I have a demo pugilist, same as my hand cannon. There was a different role I was looking for that I haven't gotten yet. I can't remember it, unfortunately. But anyways, I highly recommend this just because it's blinding grenades, and it also shoots 2 at a time, which is super nice. So basically, in a sense, you have 2 grenades that are blinding enemies, so it's a really big radius. So I would just say this is overall the best blinding GL in the game at the moment. And it's new. And again, it comes from the new dungeon, Fire the Watcher. So yeah, get it. Then a Funnelweb. Most people probably know this weapon. This is probably the best overall submachine gun in the game. It launched with Witch Queen. It is a world drop. It is definitely still in the world drop. There's no real easy way to farm for one. You can get Umbrals, and you can open up world drop Umbrals at the helm from, I think, multiple seasons. So yeah, just go to the helm, open up world drops. Tons of perk combinations, subsistence, and a damage perk like Frenzy, or forget, it has another damage perk, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But yeah, very, very good weapon. Also, it has the best origin trait, but this origin trait is getting nerfed in Witch Queen for no reason. But yeah, very, very good weapon. Definitely probably the best sub in the game. And then we have another sub, Ikelos sub. This is a craftable weapon this season. It's probably going away after the season, so you have 3 weeks to get this. Very, very easy to get. You can get 1 a day right now with the correct update or upgrade in the helm. So very good weapon. Again, has a tons of perk combinations. I just made a fun one. Volt Shot is definitely the go-to, I feel like, for everybody. And then the first perk, I think people go with Feeding Frenzy, which is for reload speed. But honestly, I wish I could shoot it right now in game, but I can't. But Future Loot is a very underrated perk. It's good for endgame when you see ammo either fall off the map or too far away and you don't want to risk dying. Future Loot is an awesome, awesome perk. It also just reloads the weapon without having to reload it, which is cool. But I don't think you need Frenzy here, or Feeding Frenzy, because, like, honestly, I've shot this. All I have is Flared Magwell, and the reload speed is extremely high. Like, it doesn't feel slow at all. So I think using Feeding Frenzy is honestly personally a waste. So if there's another perk besides Shoot to Loot, do it. But yeah, another really good sub. Moving on to the best auto rifle in the game, in my opinion. I love this thing. One of my all-time favorite auto rifles, and I'm not a huge auto rifle user, but in my opinion, this is the best auto rifle in the game. It comes from Garden of the Salvation. What did I just say? Garden of the Salvation? Is that what I said? But yeah, it comes from the Garden raid. It's called Reckless Oracle. It is a 720 auto. Pretty much all 720 autos are very, very similar. Just the archetype of 720 is very, very good. Most importantly, the reason why this auto rifle is the best is because it has 69 bullets in the magazine. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it just feels really good to use. One of the most important things in Destiny is when you're using a gun that it feels good, and this one feels very good. So highly recommend it. It has lots of damage it has lots of good perks. I don't remember all of them, but obviously it's just a random drop. But yeah, weapon. I recommend it. Moving on to Insidious, another raid weapon. I just decided there's so many weapons you can choose from, but I wanted to have some variety in here. I had a lot of, like, multiples of the same thing. But yeah, I wanted to put a pulse rifle in here because I know there's lots of people that like pulses, and in my opinion, this is probably the best pulse in the game currently for PvE. It's a 4-round burst pulse, like Go Figure back in Forsaken, and that other one, the Forge one that I can't think of off the top of my head at the moment. But yeah, four burst pulse rifles are very fun, and again, it feels really good to shoot. It's also craftable. I think I have a crafted one, but I just pulled a random one from my vault just to show it off. This is a very good roll, rapid hit, adrenaline junkie. But yeah, it has lots of really good perks. Pretty much all the weapons from Val are just insane. Like, just absolutely insane. But yeah, so if you like pulses, highly recommend this. Again, it comes from Val. Val is very easy, and you can craft these weapons. So yeah, get that. Okay, so here's where we get to the big question mark. These next 2 weapons are world drop weapons, and I'm not 100% sure if they're still in the world pool. I think they are, but I can't remember the last time I saw one, because I don't really pay attention. I kind of just delete everything that, like random drops, like on the ground. But again, I think they're still in the world loot pool, but if I'm not, feel free to correct me. But I couldn't find any other weapons that would beat out these two weapons. So Cartesian Coordinate, in my opinion, is the best fusion rifle in the game for PvE. It has really good perk combinations. It has Vorpal. Vorpal on a special weapon is just free. Yeah, and then it's the best. It's the fastest charge time, which is also just is by far better than any other fusion rifles in the game. So yeah, Cartesian world drop. Use the Umbral engrams again for this if it is in the whirlpool, but I couldn't figure out. I even like Googled to see if it was, and a lot of things say it still is, but I couldn't tell for sure. And then same thing with first in, first last. This is the best or second best slug, probably the second best because Heritage exists. But first in, last out, very good slug shotgun. I know that slugs are not meta right now, but they are. They still are in the meta. We've just kind of moved past them because of the when basically we got the hot swapping nerf. People just stopped using slugs because they just assumed, oh, they're just bad. They're not bad. They're still very, very good. They're just, there's other things in the meta that are easier to use. And slugs are very niche. Like, we haven't had raid bosses where we could use slugs recently because most of the raid bosses, like, for example, King's Fall, everything's too far away, so you're not going to use a slug. But, yeah, I do think that slugs will pop back up in the meta again. It just depends on the type of bosses we see. So, first in, last out, very, very good weapon. And, yeah, unloading Vorpal is the god roll. This is what you want. Yeah, and then lastly, we have the Ikelos sniper rifle. I wanted to put a sniper rifle in here. Unfortunately, the best sniper rifle in the game, I believe, is gone, which is a Zumi. That was what I would have put it here normally, but again, I don't think you can get it. It was a Nightfall drop, and I'm pretty sure it's gone. But I think it's coming back next season. I'm not sure, so... But this is a video for this season. So, Ikelos sniper, this will be leaving at the end of the season. It is a craftable weapon at the helm. Very easy to get. And... when you're of level, 140s are probably the best sniper rifles for PvE. When you're under level, they're the worst. So it just depends on the type of content. This is definitely a fan favorite, though. Lots of people love this sniper. It's existed for like 5 years. If they keep bringing it back. But yeah, so highly recommend getting this. Like I said, it's just craftable from this season at the helm. And that is it. Those are my 10 energy weapons. If there's any others that I missed, feel free to let me know in the comments, or let me know what your favorite energy weapons are. These are just the 10 best that I could find that are still obtainable, to my knowledge. And yeah, I will be putting out a heavy video either tomorrow or the next day. So keep an eye out on that. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. Peace.